Against the background of social malaise, of lethal violence, and the quantum loss of lives and property, the need to politically rebuild the nation has become an imperative. There have been many conversations around these issues, but none has been very definitive. And I think, and I'm sure that you all agree with me watching out there, that this has pushed the need for organized and non-organized sectors to come together in their own spaces, various spaces, to start thinking and speaking out, how can we get Nigeria back? The Nigeria where I grew in, and I'm very proud to be a Nigerian, and I'm sure you out there, you're very proud to be a Nigerian. So which way forward? That's the bridge we intend to build today. The bridge of conversation, the bridge for us to know that though tongue and tribe may differ, in unity we stand. So we're here. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations started a national conversation since last year. They have been at the 6 geopolitical zones of the nation and even went out to ensure that the diasporans, Nigerians living out there, are also part of the conversation. Because this conversation, they believe, and I believe, will lead us to the promised land. And so to speak on this, because at the moment there's a frenzy out there, the NIPR, with the National Summit, is preparing to come together at the center to speak to all the reactions that have been gotten at the zonal level. And for us to be able to say, this is the way to rebuild Nigeria. And of course, Bridges, it's so excited to be part of this movement, I dare to say. And to discuss with me today how far this summit, this discussion has gone, and what are the plans for the forthcoming that is coming very soon in Abuja, where all that have been collated will be at the center of discourse. I have here with me the chairman of the planning committee. I call him master in terms of when you think of governance and what the govern and bringing that together. He makes a good sandwich of them. My brother is here with us, Dr. Ike Neleaku. He's a council member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. He's been a senior special assistant on the presidential level, so he's seen it all. And more than anything else, is the national chair, planning committee of this important conversation, which is themed Reopen Conversation, Open Trust. Good one.
Build trust.
Build trust.
Build trust.
Trust. I'll say that again. Reopen conversation, build trust. Dr. Ike, you're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for coming again. And by the way,
Thank you.
he's actually one of the architects of Bridges. We'll talk about that someday. Okay. And then we were able to catch a big fish from SANU, that is the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities. We brought the president here. He's right here with me on my very right. And Comrade Mohammed Haruna Ibrahim is the national president. You're welcome.
Thank you.
He's a journalist. He's a producer. He's a public servant. But more than anything else, today he's also a governing council member of NIPR. But today he sits in here as the national president, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities. You're welcome.
Thank you. Nice of you.
So, as we move on, we also like to use our gender lens. We like to ensure that it is an inclusive conversation. So I'll put that in my pocket and hide, but at some point she would come on and then go. So against this background, I'll start with you, Dr. Ike, and what you've seen and the dissolution out there in terms of what people think about our great country, Nigeria. What is this conversation? Why this summit? What do you want to achieve with it? I mean, we've had several. What's different about this?
Thank you very much again. It's always a pleasure to be on this platform. I will start with why this conversation. Then I will talk about what we have experienced since we began to go around. The Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, after we were inaugurated in May last year, conducted a study, a survey, a socio-economic political study. And the study played up three things. First, there is a wide gap between the citizens and their leaders. Two, there is a widening trust gap between citizens and their leaders. But more importantly, there is trust gap between citizens and citizens. So you have vertical distrust and horizontal distrust. And that was at the point that we discovered that these are very fundamental issues. Citizens can have issues with government. You know that it's a matter of time. In democracy, it is constrained by time. So once time is over, a new system comes. But when a seed of distrust and tension is created among citizens, it deepens and it becomes emotionally challenging. So when our feedback came in that manner, we felt that NIPR needed to respond. NIPR is the only organization, the only institute mandated by law to promote peace building, promote reputation management, promote friendship, promote relationships, promote goodwill within the society. We are endowed and enabled, therefore, to undertake an assignment of this nature. So we had to now deploy our expertise in reconvening a platform for Nigerians to discuss. We have to sort out the way we respond to one another, the way we handle governance, the way we handle leadership, the way we handle the economic activities of Nigeria. Can we make excellence to be our culture?
I'll take it from you. Can we make excellence to be our culture? I think that's a very interesting line to continue this conversation, because everything that Dr. Ike has pointed out to are the things that are agitating our minds. Some have reacted in various ways that you would think there will be no Nigeria come the morning. But still, we're together. We're still one. So, especially, let's look at the education sector, which you part of. All of us actually should be part of that. You're on strike as we speak, really?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the bone of contention?
The way he captured it, excellence in the way we handle our issues. Nigeria is a cosmopolitan country. Nigeria today is talking about over 200 million human beings. Nigeria is a federation of 36 states and the federal capital. Therefore, the way the population is increasing is not commensurate with the development that is coming up in the areas of infrastructure, in the area of education, in the area of health, in the area of even social integration. When we were kids, you could have your child gain admission, if you are from Abuja, for example, in Port Harcourt, or in Maiduguri, or in Lagos, and all you need to do is go to the bus station, and deposit that child with the driver, and he takes him there, and you are at home. You don't even have telephone conversation, and you are sure things were going to work. And when the child gets to the school, you are sure the school authority will accept that child, will receive the child, accommodate the child, feed him properly, and expose him to all that is required for him to study. Now, this is what made some of us, or even some of our seniors, have the better education that they got. Can we say this is what is happening today? The infrastructure in the educational institutions is as good as saying zero.
How did we get here?
How did we get here? Mismanagement. Lack of scale of preference. We don't prioritize our needs. And then there is no commensurate, there is the workforce is not encouraged. We do not employ even the right people in the first place. Excellence, the word you mentioned.
Excellence.
Yes. Before now, when we were employed, you attended an interview and the results were there and you would have been rated. But these days, do they even conduct interviews before they employ staff in any government agency? It's who you know.
So we are sliding in terms of things that builds a developed society. We in terms of standards.
Yes.
From the conversation that you gathered, because the conversation is themed Citizen Summit. I mean, what the NIPR is driving is Citizen Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security. Well, security have been compromised. What you hear, I mean, these days you're even afraid to read the newspapers because of, you see that, and any noise, anywhere you go and there's a sudden noise, people are, very anxious. What's coming up? Now, how can we address these issues?
I think at the point I stopped, I was talking about where we began to have challenges. And I talked about
the last 60 years.
Yes, that we have not really had the kind of leadership that understood the dynamics of nation building the way it should be. Patriotism is there. Patriotism had always been there. But you see, the content of patriotism becomes the issue. I'm one of those, through research and the kind of things I have read, I have studied, places I have been, engagements I have participated in, I have full conviction that Nigeria is programmed to fail. Yeah. The way the architects of Nigeria designed Nigeria, they programmed the country to fail. And that's why we have been flip-flopping. Sometimes we go as if we're going up, suddenly we go down. And then we start to rebuild again, and then suddenly we go down again. And unless we Nigerians come to the reality to reinvent our nationhood and understand what makes Nigeria work, there are things that when you put on the table today, Nigerians are excited. How come, man, that when we go to international competitions we excel, but when we come in here, we have challenges? Because there is a systemic issue. There is something that is systemic about what we have developed. That's why we need to build new Nigerians. A lot of emphasis must be placed in reorientation of the mindset of Nigerians. We need a new generation of Nigerians that will build the new Nigeria. So when we talk about new Nigeria, new Nigeria, new Nigeria, new Nigeria can never be built on the foundation of emptiness. You need to develop the character and the content of these new Nigerians that will build the new Nigeria.
Joining us now is the National President of the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, Comrade Ladibala. You're welcome on Bridges. Well, you've had this robust conversation on, integrating peace, equity, justice in nation building. How did we get ourselves in here? But we are speaking to inclusive governance where everyone matters and no one is left behind. So, speaking from the perspective of gender inclusion, what's your view in terms of this integration for accelerated development that we are talking to?
Firstly, I want to say thank you for having me on this program. I mean, this is my first time of appearing on Bridges, and thank you so much for doing so much for the Nigerian nation. And yeah, speaking to your question, I'm glad that the National Institute for Public Relations have putting together this National Citizen Summit. I mean, for us to come together and discuss the Project Nigeria. It is time for all Nigerians, stakeholders in this country, to actually come around and let's have a conversation. Because, I mean, the security agencies and other stakeholders have been doing their bits. But it's like we're not getting things right here. We talked about democracy. Initially, we are under a military regime, and Nigerians felt that once we have a democracy in place, things will be better off. But it seems as if we are still not getting things right. And for Nigerians, being seen, I mean, it is not just being seen. Nigeria is a giant of Africa. It is expected that other nations of the world, particularly in the African continent, should be borrowing a leaf from Nigeria in terms of development, those indices that make a nation great. Unfortunately, that is not the case today as we speak. A lot of distrust, a lot of misgivings. Nigerians are not just Nigerians again. Our diversity ordinarily should have been our strength. But today we have democracy. Unfortunately, we have political actors that have been kind of, widening the divisive lines across board in this country, and that has not helped us to have a cohesive nation. And the issue of of women, is a key minus to the Nigerian government and to the Nigerian society, because Nigeria is a signatory to different protocols and treaties about the conventions about inclusion. At home, the women in Nigeria are the ones that are keeping the home front, because the crises we are seeing today are the reflections of our various societies. When I talk about society, the different ethnic and whatever coloration you want to we have in this country. But the women at the family levels have been able to manage their home front, and they have their families together. And that is why I believe that we are still here to get today as one indivisible nation, even though we have part of our bodies, I'm talking about Nigeria now, being broken left, right, and center. But somehow, because of the resilient nature of Nigerians, we are people that will smile in the face of adversity. We smile in the face of, disturbing situations. That is gift from God to us. And I think people our leaders are taking advantage of this resilient nature of Nigerians and taking things for a ride. But I'm telling you, we are getting to a point where the center may not hold again until the right thing is done. And I think that is why this conversation, is being instituted, so that all the critical stakeholders, like NIPR is partnering 70 organizations, they realize that on their own they can't do it. And sincerely speaking, the magnitude of the problem, challenges that is facing this country today, sincerely speaking, no individual, not even government, can do it. We all need one another to come to the round table. And when we're talking about having we're talking about integration, we are talking about cohesion, we are talking about opening conversation for rebuilding confidence, then we are talking about carrying everyone along. The women cannot be neglected, must not be neglected. If we want to have a society where everybody has a say in whatever that is going on in that society. Women must be brought on board. Women must be on the decision table. In terms of security that we are talking about today, sincerely speaking, when you want to discuss the way forward about the security situation in this country, you must have the women on the table. What the men don't know, the women know.
And they are ready to share.
They are ready to share.
Because they need to.
No section, the youth must not be neglected. They are out there, some of them have been recruited for these ills, and it's not because they want to, and because they have not seen anything that they should die for this country. For crying out loud, we must go back to the drawing board and begin to instill in the younger generation that this country belongs to all of us. We don't have any other country. I'm happy that Dr. Ike made it very clear. Personally, I'm of the same opinion that there is no any other country in Nigeria, in the whole of this world than Nigeria. I am an incurable optimist about Nigeria. I so much believe in this country, and I so much believe that we can do things to change the narrative today.
Our time is fast ticking. Dr. Ike, can we have the final words from you?
Well, I want to tell Nigerians and young people who are listening to us, I'm speaking from experience. There is no country like Nigeria on earth. I'm not talking of West Africa. I'm not talking of Africa. Nigeria has all that is required.
Everything.
To be great. Everything from material to human to mineral, everything. I have done a study about this country. This is #1 country in the world. That's why people like us cannot live elsewhere. There is no country like Nigeria. It is just for us to fix the issues and see this country rise. So I see a lot of hope. And every day, more people are emerging with a lot of content in their heads. This country will be fixed. This country will be reinvented. This country will go far.
The solution to this stagnation, to this backwardness, to this mischief is good leadership at different strata, at different levels. We must be able to provide leadership from our homes to our workplaces to government offices and at the highest level. We must show example. If you travel out of this country with Nigerians, the moment you land in Heathrow, for example, if you go to London, you see how Nigerians file in. Everybody will get into his senses. You will follow the process and the procedure. You submit yourself to checks. If you are coming back, before the plane lands in Lagos or Abuja, already people are making calls. Already protocol officers are already waiting to sandwich, their bosses. You see people circumventing processes. You know that there's a disconnect. So for us to move forward, we must resolve. We must reorient ourselves to understand that for us to make progress, it's not how much education you have acquired, but what is the standard of this education? And are you ready to use this education positively?
And it's doable because we've done it before.
Yes.
It's not the first time.
Yes.
We want back. I think what we should say, we want back our old Nigeria.
Yeah.
But give us back our Nigeria. But the Nigeria that is also in tune or trending with the modern world. Because that's what happened in Singapore. That's what happened in Malaysia. And today they have become the beacon. They have become the benchmark for development. Well, gentlemen and lady, thank you. Viewers, this is our thing. We got to do this together. This conversation, I promise you, will continue. As soon as the NIPR National Summit is on the 23rd and 24th of this month is over. Yes, I can assure you that I'll bring them back so that we can truly dissect what exactly are the things that people, do they concur with what has been said here? Or are there new things that have come up that we as a people must decide to do? Because we speak these days to demographic dividends. We can only do it. It's not about structure, because it is the people that will do the structuring. And when we do it together, we get there faster. We'll be back same time next week, building a better and new Nigeria. Thanks for watching.